Hello and good Sunday morning. I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We have new activity out in the tropics. The National Hurricane Center just moments ago now naming Barry out in the Bay of Campeche. It has just become a tropical storm. Winds have gone up to 40 miles an hour. And so that is tropical storm force strength, and it's moving northwest at 6 miles an hour. And this storm is going to be fairly short-lived. And the good news about this storm for us here in southeast Texas is that it is going to remain well to the south of the U.S.-Mexico border. Also, there's another areas that's going to be under concern out in Florida, but this forecasted track is expecting it to move into around Tampico, Mexico by Monday morning with winds at 35 miles an hour. And so, like I said, remaining further south of the U.S.-Mexico border, not posing a threat to southeast Texas. We also have some wind shear that's currently in and around the southern Gulf, and that is going to do a great job at keeping that system south. Also, we have ridging of high pressure that's over Texas, and that high pressure system over Texas is just going to keep things south of us for now. However, looking at the rain potential, we can expect to see rain in excess between 3 to 4 inches of rain in and around Tampico, Mexico. We're going to see the heaviest rain well south of South Padre Island. It could bring some probably scattered showers and storms into the Rio Grande Valley as of today, but we are also expecting rain changes here across the Houston area. We also have some Saharan dust that's currently in the picture, but just moments ago, this tropical moisture from this system is actually starting to surge towards us, and that is going to be upping our rain chances going into this afternoon, and that's why we're expecting to see more of that scattered rain activity here across the Houston area. So if you're just now joining me, we have a new update from the National Hurricane Center. They have just named Tropical Storm Barry. It was a tropical depression as a few moments ago. It is now a tropical storm, and that has winds at 40 miles an hour, moving northwest at 6 miles an hour. This system is going to be fairly short-lived. It's in very well close in contact with land, and so as that makes its way close to the land, once it cuts off that energy as it's over open water, that's when we're expecting that to eventually weaken, and it's going to bring some more of that heavier rain activity south of the U.S.-Mexico border, not posing a threat to Texas. However, we're still going to see some of that tropical moisture from the system as we head into the coming days. So looking at Tropical Storm Barry as of now, that does satisfy the B name out in the Atlantic Basin. And so as we look at that forecasted track, like I said, very short-lived, not long at all. We can expect this to eventually weaken back into a tropical depression as we head into Monday morning, and that's going to see winds at 35 miles an hour. And of course, the heavier rain activity well south of us going into the next few days. And so if you're heading down to maybe the Rio Grande Valley, that's when we could see a bit more scattered storm and shower activity. But as we look at that rain potential, the heaviest rain showers in and around Tampico, Mexico. And so definitely expecting still some tropical moisture in terms of showers for us here across the Houston area. And that's when we're seeing right now. I'm going to go ahead and show you what radar is showing here across southeast Texas. As we look at our radar, we're already starting to see some of those isolated showers that are just offshore. This is all tropical showers that are from that system, and you're able to actually see that up and down the Texas coastline going into the next few hours. And so, like I said, as that system continues its track closer towards land, you're going to probably start seeing more of those showers across the Texas coast in terms of if you're heading down to Corpus Christi, maybe you're going to the Rio Grande Valley. I know we have a lot of visitors from out of town for the Beyonce concert, and so we're expecting that rain activity to start moving inland across the Texas coast as we head into later today. And we're already starting to see that now. As of 10 o'clock this morning, we're seeing some of these isolated downpours now starting to move into the Houston area. And so just keep that in mind that we are going to be looking at a rather wet afternoon here across Houston, even though we started off quite clear and quiet, and that's all because of this tropical moisture that is now Tropical Storm Barry that the National Hurricane Center just moments ago now listing and taking up that B name for the Atlantic Basin. So Tropical Storm Barry moving northwest at 6 miles an hour, 40-mile-an-hour winds. This is as the 10 a.m. advisory. This is definitely, you saw it as a depression about maybe an hour ago, and then now with this latest update, they of course have strengthened it and now classifying it as a tropical storm, as winds are now in excess of 39 miles an hour. And so this is a very slow-moving storm. It's going to be very short-lived, and it's expecting to not really last all that long. We can expect this to eventually weaken as it makes its close contact with land in and around Tampico, Mexico, heading into tomorrow morning. So keep that in mind, that the good news with this system for us here across southeast Texas is that it's expected to remain rather south. Also, there is another area of concern in terms of what we're looking at by the next few days. So as we look at the situation for areas across Florida, there's a 20% chance of development within the next 7 days. There's a stationary boundary that's currently draped across Florida. And we're going to have to watch that system pretty closely. And so that is really the cause of that system, and that's why they're giving that a 20% chance, because there is a slight possibility that really could form into something of disturbed weather, especially still bringing rain to portions of the Florida Panhandle. But this stationary frontal boundary draped across the Florida area that really could might fuel into something. But one thing that we also have to keep an eye on is the Saharan dust that's currently forecasted to move through our area and across the Gulf. We have Saharan dust, a plume of it, a big plume of it, heading into the next 24 to 48 hours. This plume right here moving into southeast Texas. It's going to bring some hazy skies here across Houston. Also, like we've been saying with these tropical updates, when we have Saharan dust, it really does a great job at suppressing that tropical development, and that's what we're expecting to see as well, at least as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. This is also probably going to suppress any type of rain chances that we have here across the Texas coast going into much of the week. So definitely expecting a little bit of an active weather pattern in terms of rain chances for today here across Houston, but we're also expecting this dust to bring hazy skies, maybe even lower air quality levels heading into the middle of the week. And this is what we're looking at for the next few days in terms of rain. So let's say if you're traveling across the southern half of the U.S. So Houston's right here. You have Corpus Christi, you have Rio Grande Valley. I know we don't have the labels on there yet, but we are expecting the rain activity to be mostly minimal by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of this next week. The only thing that we're keeping an eye on is the amount of tropical moisture that is now surging into across the Texas coast for today, all thanks to what is now Tropical Storm Barry. So that moisture returning, tropical moisture, giving us the chance of showers and storms. It's these tropical showers, these tropical downpours that we're expecting to see today, and that is likely going to be the case, especially as we head into later this afternoon. This is a look at future track. I know that we've been dealing with a very unsettled weather pattern here across Houston. Just keep in mind that it doesn't take much to cause some flooded roadways. I know it's going to be mostly isolated downpours, but it's not uncommon for an isolated downpour to cause some problematic roadways in one location of the city. I mean, what we saw last time with that last downpour that we had the Galleria area pretty much flooded, but then other areas across town wasn't seeing really any rain. So these isolated downpours, especially when they like to sit over an area for a long period of time, it usually dumps a ton of rain in a short amount of time, and that usually leads to flooding issues. And not like we're going to see that today, but just keep in mind that it could be a possibility, and it's always important to pay attention to the weather updates, especially as we bring you the latest weather updates on the KHOU 11 app, because as we get closer towards 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that's when we're going to continue to see these downpours become a bit more scattered and widespread as if you're heading out and about across our area today. So keep the location where you see the orange and red colors, take that as a grain of salt. It could be really anywhere that could receive these downpours for today. And so that's why we've issued that weather impact alert for today as well. And that's going to be in place from 11 o'clock through at least 5 p.m. That's why we've issued that weather impact alert, because we have a lot of activities going on here across Houston, and it only takes one downpour to dump maybe between 2 and 3 inches of rain that could cause some problematic conditions across our area, at least for this afternoon. We have Beyonce Day 2 happening today. Concert starts at 7 p.m., but I know folks like to arrive there many hours before the concert because of the traffic and all of the high activity going on around the NRG area. Keep in mind that we could see scattered downpours at least through 5 p.m., but as the concert starts, getting closer towards 7 o'clock, that's when that rain chance is going to be diminishing. But if you know anybody that's heading out early today, be on the lookout for those downpours and those problematic roadways for this afternoon, as radar is already showing some of these isolated showers and storms that are now starting to move inland from the coast. And that's all moisture from what is now Tropical Storm Barry, which was just named by the National Hurricane Center just moments ago. It is a tropical storm now. This is going to remain south of the U.S.-Mexico border, but just keep in mind 40-mile-an-hour winds moving northwest at 6 miles an hour. 10 a.m. advisory. You saw it as a depression about an hour ago, strengthening into a tropical storm, and that is going to be moving directly into Mexico, not directly posing a threat to us here across southeast Texas, but we're also watching another area that's now over Florida that has a 20% chance of development in the coming days. So the latest track of Barry, very short-lived, not expecting to last all that much longer. By Monday morning, it will already be weakening back into a depression with 35-mile-an-hour winds, but it's the rain chances, the tropical moisture that we're seeing from this exact system that is going to give us some scattered showers and storms for later this afternoon. And that's the latest update, and that's all I have for you in terms of the tropics update and why we're getting rain chances for today, and we're already starting to see those showers now moving inland. And as always, we're keeping you up to date with the latest weather information on KHOU.com, and you can get the latest info by downloading the KHOU 11 app. Again, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez. Have a great and safe rest of